Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Unprepared. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today we're welcoming to the short 10-minute video segments, Stacy McPhillips from Pencil Point Marketing. We met about a week ago on a local webinar we did here in Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about doing videos because it's completely uncomfortable with me.
Yeah, they're terribly uncomfortable, but the metrics don't lie. So we've been doing our podcast for over a year, and we put those on YouTube, obviously recycling content for all your socials. I'm sure that you'll have some input on that here in a minute. But we were just putting them on there with a picture, and people were finding out about the podcast that way. But the second I started doing these shorter video clips, kind of micro content, micro podcasts, really, they're getting triple, quadruple the amount of views on YouTube because there's actual human beings in the video, and it's just human psychology. People want to look at other people while they're talking.
I know. It's so interesting that you say that. I used to work for a national pizza chain, and we did some testing in social media about like if you include people or don't include pizza. So, you have like the beautiful shot of a slice of pizza, or if you have the beautiful shot of a slice of pizza with just a hand, like holding it, which one does better? And that hand always did better. So you're right, having that sort of human impact in social is super important.
Yeah, I don't know where I heard it, but it was just like, it's one of those like super simple marketing rules that have stuck with me. It's just like, people want to do business with people.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm all for mascots and stuff. It makes it, notable, but I'm sure there's probably data out there that says that human mascots outperform like the goofy ones.
Yes.
Awesome. So for people that are unaware, what do you do over at Pencil Point Marketing? What's kind of the strengths that your team brings to the table?
So I'm a marketing strategist, and I develop marketing plans for small businesses. So you could kind of think of me as sort of a part-time or step-in marketing director for small businesses. I'm a generalist, so I have like a wide background in marketing. I've done everything that there can be. I've done like small little local events up to filming national commercials for CPG. So I just have this really wide marketing background, and I'm using that to help small businesses be better marketers.
I mean, I think that is something that most small businesses have trouble with, is kind of finding that action item, that lever that they can pull to predictably increase traffic. That's kind of like the hardest problem to solve, I'd say, for most startup e-commerce businesses, is how can I get more traffic?
Yes, it sure is. And, we just talked about sort of the human aspect of marketing, and it follows through in all marketing. So like one of my core principles of my business is making sure that small businesses are truly connecting with their customers and thinking about and polling and really getting to know their customers better. And that's actually the tip that I have a little bit today. So one of the things that I see that small businesses could improve on is being better community managers in their social media. So back in the day, Facebook and Instagram and all of those things were created to be these like communities where you talk to your friends and family. And then at some point, like businesses and brands sort of got on the bandwagon and they sort of hopped in. And now it's sort of just all about like advertising and algorithms. And it's really, really, really hard to build this sort of organic presence on social media. And one of the things that you can do to improve engagement is be a better community manager. Meaning, so if someone like comments on your stuff, then, you should comment back. And I see a lot of small businesses right now almost doing social media sort of like a check the box. Like, did I post on Facebook today? Check. Yes. And did I post on Instagram last week? Check. But then you're kind of missing this kind of human interaction opportunity to really engage with your community.
Yeah, I've had multiple founders on the podcast talking about what helped them with the initial growth of their business. And bluntly, they have said, I responded to every single comment.
Yep.
I replied back to every single message. I talked to those initial people that liked us, and that's really what helped us grow, was talking to our customers.
Yes, absolutely. So if someone comments on your social media post, then you should comment back. And you shouldn't just comment back like, thanks, or, something generic. Like, try to make it as personal as you can. And if, taking it one step further, if you can start engaging them in a conversation, that's even better. And those comments, they really do help, your engagement rate on social media in that organic space. So, while it is very pay to play on social media, that is, kind of the one thing that you can do to make things better. And at the very least, you should at least like their comment so that somebody knows that you're interacting. And this can't be something that you do a week later. And I see that happening all the time. And I see it happening when I comment. Somebody like a week later, they're like, oh, so-and-so liked your comment. And I'm just like, when did I even do that? So you got to stay on top of it. And Instagram and Facebook are really good about notifying you when people make comments or like your post. So you have to sort of invest the time to be able to engage and create those kind of conversations. The sort of like gold, or the ultimate goal, is to have your commenters start interacting with each other. That's really hard.
Yeah, that's kind of when I guess you've set off a flywheel at that point of organic conversation on your content.
Yes, exactly. And the other things that you can do, so, stories are not they're not so they're growing, right? So not everybody reads the stories or watches the stories on Instagram and Facebook, but it's a growing platform, and both of those platforms are pushing the story format. And so one of the things that's easy to do is to share other people's posts to your stories, and then always be sure that if someone else shares your posts to their stories, to like that post, and if they've added some cute comment, to even reshare their story. So that's another way to engage with your people and your following and your fans. That's really very meaningful.
Absolutely. I think that stories actually, when it comes to when you're getting to like advertising, stories for a while there were kind of like a hidden gem. You were getting some awesome returns when you were utilizing, uh, especially Instagram stories, and kind of doing it in a way like where it was almost like user generated content. You could get away with some like really not cheap, but like quickly created ad assets. So yeah, I think stories are a fantastic thing to utilize. I'll be the first to admit, though, I like wasn't using stories myself for the longest time, but now we're getting back into it.
Yeah, and I would say that as much as Instagram and Facebook are pushing it, it hasn't caught on quite yet. So you probably have, younger audiences, people that are a little bit more tech savvy using it. But it is growing, and there's data evidence that says that it's growing. So investing in that format is really good. The other thing that you can do, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, is engage in posting in, actively post and comment, or comment on other people's posts. So, if you have somebody that you're really interested in, or you have, your own fan favorites on Instagram and Facebook, be sure to engage in their posts so they sort of get to know you as a fan. And then in turn, they'll follow you, and then you're just kind of continuing that engagement as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that you can do with organic, strategy when it comes to Facebook and Instagram. It's definitely doing it takes time. There isn't like a magic bullet, but if you don't have a budget for paid ads, you can definitely invest the time into organic social media, and, it can change your business.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that I really like right now is partnerships. So, like picking other people that have, Instagram and social media accounts that are complementary to your business, and kind of partnering with them. So, for example, like one of my clients is a veterinarian, and she was noticing that since groomers were closed, like maybe pets were getting matted fur and things like that. So she partnered with a groomer who also has a nice social media following, and they did some educational videos. And then you have this like content that's out there that you've partnered on. And so then you share the hell out of that between the two of you. And it creates for this other kind of like good community, two businesses in the same area that are kind of supporting each other, good vibe as well.
That's amazing. Stacy, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.